Welcome to the Church of Mabus radio show. It's Friday night, 7:06 p.m. Central, and bad storms here today in Florida. Some gusts of wind. Me and Christina were in the RV, and a gust of wind came through and knocked the rug off the fence, a heavy rug, and shook the RV. Luckily, we didn't die or tip over, but it was just that rug's hard for me to pick up when it's dry. So it was wet and it got slung pretty easily. I can't even pick it up now until it dries because it's on the concrete. It's too heavy unless I have another person help me. Even then, it might be a pain in the butt. But hopefully, the storms are over. But for me, the storms have just begun. So there's supposed to be a guest tonight. I don't know where the hell he is. Maybe he'll show up. So if you're listening right now and got any questions, now's a good time because I don't have a co-host. I don't have a guest. So we named this show Church of Mabus. It's a mad, mad, mad world because it certainly is. And everybody seems crazy and the world seems crazy and everything seems out of control and nuts. And just when you think COVID's over, excuse me, I didn't say that. The C word is over. It's right back. So, nonetheless, it's just terrible. I got vaccinated 2 shots Pfizer. I don't even know if I'm going to do the booster. They seem like they come out with a vaccine every time they fart, like a new one. It's like, well, I don't want to get stuck any more than I've already been stuck twice. You want to do some boosters? I don't know about that. But I don't like needles anyway. 17 chemotherapy made me not like needles. So I've had tattoo needles. Those aren't so bad. They suck at first, but then you kind of like it after a while. I remember watching Freddy Krueger while I was getting this Dracula tattoo after my dad died. Bram Stoker representing. Of course, it's a Dracula tattoo carrying some woman down a mountainside. It was a statue, a sculpture, and some award-winning tattoo artist did it and a wolf on my arm. Later, I found out he was hitting the heroin and got fired or something. But I grew up around people that use needles for drugs. I never did because I went through chemo and I wasn't going to stick myself. And plus, most people that do that usually end up croaked in a lot of different regards. And that's usually the way it goes with so many musicians like Alice in Chains, Lane Staley, and Kurt Cobain was on it, and of course that's a mystery in itself, and some points to him being murdered. So I saw something on Facebook about Courtney Love and some paper that was showing her practicing his handwriting that they found later. I don't know, it seemed weird, but like I said, I don't have a time machine, so I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But Wham may be here later. Joe may be here later. So it's just me and you and the blood pressure rising. So if anybody's out there and has any questions, come on by. And I don't even know. We're on most of Facebook right now. We're on YouTube, on UFO Paranormal Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio. And then there's another one. Let me find that one. God's Extraterrestrial something something. I know I have God, UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. We're on UPNRN and Twitch and Twitter and iTunes, SoundCloud, and iHeart. And let's see, there's nothing else I got to plug. I'll plug Sean Penn's CoreResponse.org. The actor Sean Penn has an organization where he's helping Ukraine. He helps with all kinds of different stuff. It's called CoreResponse.org. CoreResponse.org. And you can donate. I mean, he's pretty ballsy. He was over there with Zelensky walking down the streets in the mayhem. So at least he helps people. That's saying a lot more than most of them, I'm sure. So as far as CoreResponse.org, it's an interesting site. They've helped with COVID stuff and hurricane stuff, and you can check it out. And yeah, that's Sean Penn. I don't remember the last Sean Penn movie I've seen. I've seen some of them. He's a pretty good actor, but I can't remember anything right now. But I know I've seen stuff that he's been in. And he really, there was that Milk. I don't even know if I watched that. He played some gay dude that was famous, Harvey Milk or something like that. I may have saw it. If so, I don't remember. I know he won some awards for that. What else? Never saw The Gunman. I saw Mystic River. That was Clint Eastwood. That was pretty good. I saw I Am Sam. That was really good. Milk. I don't remember if I saw it. That's the Harvey Milk one. Dead Man Walking. I saw that. That was pretty good. Oh, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I definitely saw that. It's been a while. Wouldn't mind seeing that again sometime. That was pretty funny, but I don't remember most of it except it was like a stoner movie or something like that. Let's see. What else? Someone where he plays like a that's like a rock star, but he looks like a chick in a dress goth or something. Some rock star that's crazy. I never saw The Professor and the Madman. That's pretty interesting. I saw Carlito's Way. I have Secret Life of Walter Mitty right here. I guess he's in. Yeah, I guess he's into that. I mean, in that, because I have that right here to watch later. I've never seen it. I know Ben Stiller made it. The Pledge. Yeah, he was in that with Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. Indian Runner. I definitely saw that. That was the Dennis Hopper one. Falcon and the Snowman. Yeah, he's been in some good stuff. I remember Falcon and the Snowman was like about coke dealers or something. So he's been around the block for a while. Cross and Guard, that's another good Jack Nicholson one. Uh, what just happened? What is that? That's some Robert De Niro. Some of this stuff I never heard of. Hurly Burly, I don't know what that is. He's in the Angry Birds movie. I don't quote me on that. Maybe I've gone too far. Oh, what? Sean Penn and Kid Rock in a movie called Americans, a short film? I don't know, dude. Run away from that guy. Kid Rock. Oh my gosh. But anyway, let me see if there's any emails. No emails from the guests. So it's just weird. There's that weird story going around about the sheriff in Alabama, the lady, and the dude, the convict dude, and they vanished, and that's been all over the news. Seems like she was in cahoots with him, or who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of stories like that. And Wham is on her way, so that's good. From Pine Bush, she was with Gail Beatty, who's been on the show before, who researches Bigfoot and everything like that. Sasquatch uh, encounters. But anyway, let me take a sip of my coffee. Dead silence on the air. Usually I can get away with this stuff and do little things when there's a co-host. You can make them ask a question. You can sneak and do stuff. But now I'm all in the open. We watched Pump Up the Volume not too long ago, me and Christina. That movie was, I guess it kind of helped me want to do radio. It's kind of cheesy now watching it, but I saw it in junior high, and it was about Christian Slater, was a pirate radio TV show host. And yeah, it is hard to take a drink of coffee when you're by yourself on the radio because you have to talk. So you can't, it's hard to sneak it in. But anyway, let's see. Chris Slater, Christian Slater, excuse me. He was a pirate radio and basically doing it from his parents' house, and no one knew. And all these kids tuned into him from high school, and he caused a ruckus. And someone took their own life because of something dumb he said. But some girl set her microwave on fire. It's a pretty good movie, but it's definitely some '80s cheese. Hold on a second. There we go. I did it. But here we go. Oh, there's a joke about Jack Nicholson, and this is a true story. I forget where I heard it. I have to be careful how I say it. Someone asked Jack Nicholson what the name of his anatomy was, down below. And he said it's Slater because he's a little prick. So that's one I remember from somewhere. I don't think he likes Christian Slater because he thinks he stole his act. Maybe, I don't know. They kind of talk similar, but maybe he's an influence to his acting. I don't know. Maybe he just talks like that anyway and sounds like him. I have to purposely sound like him to sound like Jack Nicholson. I have to. I don't know what I do, but I do it. And but I don't talk like that all the time. Jack Nicholson, I guess, does, unless it's an act too. But well, one thing that's been bothering me a lot lately, and I've been bringing it up every show, is this exopolitics stuff. I don't understand it. Like, a lot of these personalities seem like they should be writing erotica on Amazon with aliens and Bigfoot. Like, are they just like making up these stories? Can we see a little bit of evidence? Putin's hunting for space arcs in the Ukraine, the Ark of the Covenant. So, is there some evidence? Where are you getting this at? And they're serious. Like, that's why he's bombing everybody. They're Nazis. It's like he's Indiana Jones Part 5. Pootie. The Return of Pootie. And Nazis are there, which I believe there's some Nazis there. There's Nazis here. There's Nazis in every country. So does that mean every country deserves to get the living freak bombed out of it and kill your grandmother and your children and zoo animals? You know, that's insane. I've heard there's people on the right and left that support Putin. Seems like the Antichrist to me. He's taking it to a creepy level. And he's Christian? Killing in the name of Jesus? Is that what the new rap song is this week? I don't understand it. Jesus loves you. Boom, 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 boom. Splatter. I just don't understand it. So, you know, I don't like Nazis. Nazis, bring out the bear Jew. But who does? I mean, maybe someone does. I don't. I actually met a Nazi once. Went into his apartment, one of those skinhead Nazis. I know every skinhead's not a Nazi. There's different ones. I don't know much about it, but I know there's different ones. But anyway, I was at work at Conair aluminum plant, and pretty much working. My dad worked there too. Horrible place. God, hot and metal and packing boxes, and just I worked with this old black dude, Johnny. There's another older black dude. That's all they've done their whole life, and they were fast. I had to keep up with them, and I was the boss's son, so they were like, "Oh Lord, I don't want to work." They liked me. They didn't have any problem with me, but that place just was hot and disgusting. And there was this guy named Spaz there, Spencer Anderson, and him and my dad fought all the time, and were at each other's throats. And he was this skinhead with all these tattoos all over him. And I don't know how the hell I ended up hanging out with him and going to his apartment. But it happened somehow. I don't remember exactly. I guess I just went over there after work. But next thing you know, he's showing me and handing me his 9mm and telling me he was in a PBS documentary about Nazis and showing me his Nazi stuff. So I was like, okay, I got to get the hell out of here. Because of my nose, most people think I'm Jewish. I'm not, that I know of. Got Welsh. That's something I could go over that would be interesting tonight. My Ancestry.com. That'll fill in a lot of time. But anywho, we got Christina here rooting for me from the sidelines. Gonna get her on sometime. It's just a matter of figuring out technical stuff. Like, I have a nice mic, but can two people use it at once? I need to talk to some other hosts. I'm sure they can. It's just weird. If you got to figure it out, you could do it on your cell phone, but you got to like hold your cell phone in front of your face. Right now, I'm trying to do my Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock so I can get through this. But anyway, Dave Chappelle attacked by some rapper dude. Terrible. Howie Mandel said the Will Smith Chris Rock slap opened the floodgates of violence on these outstanding comedians. Uh, I'm on Team Chris Rock. I'm on Team Johnny Depp. I don't keep up with this stuff hardcore. I see the headlines and stuff, but I may have clicked a Chris Rock article or a Johnny Depp article briefly and skimmed it, but I don't like. I haven't really. I think I don't even know if I've watched testimony. Maybe like a minute of it or something. Of course, I want Johnny Depp to win. She seems cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, her name's Amber Turd now for the poop in the bed and other stuff that we don't need to go into detail in. But both were probably on fault on some level. But I think there's definitely something crazy, crazy, crazy going on. He shouldn't be canceled because he has relationship problems. I mean, they cancel someone just as soon as past wind here lately. I saw Frank Langella. He's played Dracula in a movie. He was on Netflix doing the new some Edgar Allan Poe thing by the Midnight Mass guy. That was a pretty good vampire show, Midnight Mass. But anyway, House of Usher or something. Frank Langella is the main character, and he was doing what I seem to read a love scene or something, and I guess he took it a little too far, and it got him fired, and now he's canceled. So they're cutting him out, millions of dollars, taking him out of the show, and putting somebody else in. I forget. And maybe he was creepy. I don't know, but they sure do cancel people fast here lately. I mean, I can see if you murdered somebody, or like some of the Marilyn Manson stuff's pretty crazy. I mean, I could understand canceling him because there's some pretty crazy, crazy, crazy sick stuff with him. And I've listened to him since junior high. I remember, God, what was that album? I know it was the one with Sweet Dreams, Smells Like Children, where he's Willy Wonka and all that weird stuff. It's like his second album. I remember wearing T-shirts and stuff of that in junior high. I went to the Antichrist Superstar tour in Atlanta. I don't even remember how old, pretty young. But that place was scary. It's lucky you got out of there alive. There's people in there with razors on their boots in the mosh pit. Like, that's insane. And I thought I was out of it, and it started, and I was still in it. So I got out. I'm staying in there. My friend Derek was in there. There's bottles and just crazy. There's Christians outside boycotting. He was on stage saying crazy stuff and had the podium set up like he was the Antichrist. And it was crazy. But that was in 1996, I think. Let me see what that 1996 Antichrist Superstar, Atlanta. Yeah, 1996. Summer of Hell Bop, maybe. Is that a lineup? Because I remember that was a crazy year. What year was Hell Bop? The Comet. That was 1997. So that was like a year after. I don't know how long you could see it beforehand, but that was a crazy time. A lot of UFO stuff happened to me. Lived in Georgia, and witnesses saw it with me. I had a friend named Rich. Said, Jeffrey, you're attracting them here. And there was like these weird red and blue spears over the house, low, dancing around. And that was weird. It was definitely bizarro. And there were some times there at that house I saw some beings. The beings of light in the heavens. I saw those back there in the beginning. I've seen those for many years. There was the little beings standing around a black box with cloaks on. Very small, slender, standing around a black box. My friend Brian saw them with me. We both agreed that we saw it because we couldn't believe it. And a cat jumped towards them and they vanished. And then sometime I remember on Bermuda Street, funny enough, I lived in this Bermuda Street, and it was like the Bermuda Triangle there. There's a lot of weird stuff, flashing lights in the windows, which I think may have been those little beings with cloaks with head visors on. I didn't see, but It was not natural, whatever it was. It was unnatural. And they were in the windows. And then one time I looked down out the window, down the street, and I had saw a blonde-haired lady and like a man that was bald, sitting Indian style, kind of floating, like levitating, and like something that looked like from King Arthur with kind of a dragon head, which maybe that was a helmet. I don't know what the hell it was, but my brother said he saw it too when I woke him up. I don't know if he just said that or if he really saw it. He's seen some other stuff. I know there was one time on Silver Lake, there was these fireflies in the sky. I called them. It was these red, big, weird energy things, and it was as if they knew we saw them. And then later, I'd gone on the radio after seeing it for MUFON. Interestingly enough, I never joined MUFON. I don't really like MUFON, but back then, it was an opportunity to be on the radio. Barbara Desolore or something like that. She's a Trumpelgooch now, so pretty sure she blocked me a long time ago. I was on the radio talking about that event, and then it led to the podcast, which started out, God, this is like year 14. Started out in a chat room with Jeremy Vanny, and we would ask people to come to the chat room and do old school interviews where people were like at a press conference. And they would type out questions. The guests would type answers back. I had Nick Pope, Stanton Friedman, Nick Redfern, Alfred Limburg. There are so many I forget. It's been a long time. But a lot of Stanton Friedman, I was on the phone with him the whole time he was doing it, helping him. Of course, he's passed now. Later, I remember Jim Morris. I don't know if that was a radio. I know that interview was put in a book in a magazine, Paranoia magazine. And I've interviewed some of the Goldie Oldies. A lot of them are dead now. It's kind of sad. Stanton Friedman, Jim Mars. I remember Kevin Smith. Joe knows him, Kevin Smith. Jerry Pippin. Everybody's folding up and going on home to that Lonesome Valley. Hopefully it's not the Lonesome Valley anymore once you're croaked. This is the Lonesome Valley. But they've all headed off to the realms of the paranormal. And then, of course, now you got the C word taking out everybody. Before it's news, where I post stuff since 2012, I see right-wing news. And a lot of those personalities that have said stuff about the C word, that, say kind of negative stuff about the V word, and, they're dead. So I'm not saying that makes the V okay or whatever, but I'm just saying I've seen a lot of people croaking lately. Russ Dysdar, he croaked. He was the guy, he sent me his book once. For some reason he never got on the show. But he has this book, The Black Awakening. It's not about African folk. It's about serial killers and cells activating and spree killers, like Satan's super soldiers. It's pretty weird. I know I've seen pictures of him hanging out with Alice Cooper and stuff, so he can't be that big of a D-bag. But I have that book somewhere. There's been a lot of people. Thurston W., Asian lady that posts right-wing Trumpelgooch stuff, like loves him a little too much. She was talking smack about the V, and she croaked. That was a friend to Roseanne. I shared a lot of her stuff because the audience at that place, Before It's News, is mostly predominantly right-wing. They love Trumpelgooch, and they love stuff about him. A lot of them don't seem like they like it much anymore, but there's still enough there that do, I guess. And we'll get into some of that weirdness in a minute. But back to Thurston W., she actually came to the site and thanked me for posting her stuff, which was nice because not many people do that, rarely. Lightning strikes, maybe, twice. But, and there was some article about her calling her an idiot and stuff. That's kind of sad, but I didn't know her personally, but I shared her stuff and she thanked me. There's so many. Rob Skiba, I don't know that dude. Some flat Earth dude croaked. I'm not saying he deserved it because of flat Earth. I don't believe flat Earth stuff. I don't understand it. We're not going to get into that right now. But psyop. But anywho, there's been so many I've lost count. Like really, just so many different ones that have croaked, and that's just from the apocalyptic stuff now. But the stuff I do see there in some of the right wing channels that I have trouble understanding is how do you love Putin and then say Putin and Trump and the China dude are allies and they're like on this weird, was it nationalism? I don't know what kind of weird team it is. It's like a league of extraordinary villains or what else? Like some kind of villain something. I don't know what the hell it is, but there's this Sherry Ray lady. She posts videos and she said Trump, Putin, and that dude are all allies. And she's happy about it. So, what the hell? So, people are in America rooting for Putin, Trumpelgooch, and China because they hate Democrats so much, which both sides suck. And being pro American government, or any government just about that I know of, and being stoked for a candidate, it's like being stoked for Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer or Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer. Yay, Ed Kemper! Every government is a murderer. So I like Bernie. I was stoked for Bernie because he was pissing everybody off. They didn't like him. He got president, they probably would try to whack him. But mostly I liked him because I've had cancer before and I know insurance problems suck. So there's people helping Bernie that were dying with no insurance up to their last days of dying trying to get Bernie elected because they had no insurance. So call him what you want. A socialist. I'd rather listen to a one-bladed ceiling fan like Eileen Pistano used to say, the voodoo lady from New Orleans, who threatened to do a baby doll conjuring on me and said I needed Jesus at the same time. Some weird voodoo-ness. She's off the station now, so I guess it backfired. But anyway, I just don't get the Putin support. He seems crazy. He just threatened to nuke Ireland. If you're for him, are you like, yay, death to Ireland? I don't. I just struggle with it. I don't understand it. There was some dude on my Facebook I kicked off because he was pro Putin. Just a little too much crazy, like saying we're all going to be comrades soon and God bless Mother Russia, all this stuff. I don't understand it. I could just understand, is it because you don't like the Democrats? So you'll do treason? So I can understand not liking the Democrats or Biden. I think they're all annoying. But joining the League of Extraordinary Villains because of your hatred, he's threatening to nuke us. So if you're here supporting him and he's threatening to nuke you and your family into smithereens, are you like, yay, nuke me? I just don't get it. I think there's something awful antichrist about him. I thought that with Trump. Trump is like a Renfield. I think Putin's more like Dracula. No offense to Dracula. But, the master is coming. The master is coming. That kind of dynamic. Which I hate to use Dracula in it because I like Dracula. But you know what I mean. The master is coming. Eat a spider. There's something just weird. And it's probably going to get crazier. I mean, NATO may have to, attack him at some point because he's getting so kooky. Supposedly he has cancer and is doing surgery and stuff. So hopefully he croaks and they overthrow him or something. And stop the madness. I've seen pictures of dead grandmas splattered all over the road in Ukraine by accident. So I looked in some Ukraine chat room on Telegram, and I was just looking because it was in their language. I just looked, and there it was. I was like, ugh, I don't want to see that. So just because there's Nazis, does that mean your grandma deserves a croak? I don't understand it. We had Augie Nostal, and I like him, but he was like, Putin's in Ukraine, wiping out Nazis. Like, it's okay. Like, why not just go after the Nazis? Y'all, they're killing everybody. Zoo animals, children, grandmas. It's insane. I don't understand how anybody's sitting back and supporting that and claim they're Christian. Tell me that's not Antichrist. There's something very Antichristy about that. Sauron, Lord of Darkness, Skeletor. Something's going on that's totally nutter butter. And I don't get it, but at least I'm not on that side. I don't know what side I'm on, but I'm not on that side. As far as if he starts dropping, if something happens, he may drop a bomb. I mean, he may drop a bomb on Ukraine, an atom bomb or whatever. We're helping them still. So anybody that offers to help them, he threatens to nuke. He's like a bad James Bond villain, but creepy in his own little creepy way. Why do they always have little hands? That's what I'm trying to understand. I feel like I'm on stage tonight at the comedy club and I'm getting tomatoes thrown at me. Wham is on her way from Pine Bush. And I have the magic octopus. Christina just handed me the magic octopus. And I'm going to turn it upside down. Sad octopus. That's me tonight. Our sleep's been getting messed up. I think a lot of people's have lately. What is up with this guest? Like, I've been trying to email this dude all week. He ain't said a word to me. Then I send him StreamYard link. He don't say a word to me. The publicist say he's ready. He's ready to do it. Well, he's not here. So it's just crazy. I would have liked to have the guest on about the subject matter. But next week, thanks to Michelle Desrochers, who's done some clearing work at the last house we were at with me and Christina, she hooked us up with Dacre Stoker, living blood relative of Bram Stoker. Listen to the children of the night. Listen to the beautiful music they make. And that's going to be good. I'm going to try to get the guts up to ask him why Dracula has hairy palms in Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's a hard one for this guy. We may do it, we may not. Depends on how I'm feeling. I think I know the answer. I was just doing it to be funny mostly, but I asked Dave Morse that. And anyway, next subject. But that's going to be a good one. So tune in. And this is Church of Mabus, Church of Maybe Us. It's a mad, mad, mad world because I had to change the title tonight and be by myself. Christina's here with the magic octopus. There's a pig in the room and a million dogs. And we're kicking it live. So let's see who else is coming up. And I need to pull up my Ancestry.com. Does anybody even listen to this at all? You could send in a question. Something. Okay, May 20th, Mark Nelson. Shamanism. May 27th, Madame Pamita. Baba Yaga. Some witch book about Russian weird folklore. Some lady that eats kids or something. I don't know if she eats kids. She's got chicken leg house or something. Daniel Moeller, the third, that's shamanism. June 10th, Al Going Back, OWL Going Back. Been trying to get him on forever. Writes cool horror native books that are really good. He's down here in Florida with me. Knows a little bit about cryptids, so that's going to be a good one. Finally cornered him in and got him. And the way that happened was Jericonda Joe. Though that was kind of a letdown, at least I nabbed Al going back. And basically, Jericonda Joe was a small film, student film, put out by George Romero, who's going to make a Bigfoot movie about this black athlete and these redneck hunter dudes finding Bigfoot. And some reason it didn't happen, and they went on to do Martin, some movie about some little weird kid that steals blood out of a syringe to people. And anyway, I saw the little student film that came out at Pittsburgh College online, and it was I was kind of disappointed. Still cool though, it was George Romero. As far as what it was just a student film kind of clip. And they had some sketches of what Bigfoot was going to look like and stuff. And it looked cool. I would have liked to have seen the movie. It was old. But anyway, they wanted Al going back to do the freaking movie. George Romero, Night of the Living Dead, asked Al going back to be the native dude in it. And apparently there's a Florida Panther story where the native dude had to wrestle a Florida Panther or maybe kill it for something. It was in the weird little film. But that's cool that George Romero wanted you to do a movie. We want to talk about that. Talk about native folklore. He made a cool he has a cool book called Coyote Rage. And basically it's about Coyote the trickster wanting to conquer the earth and get rid of humans and bring back the fur and feather folk. So that was pretty interesting. Lamb should be here shortly. Coffee, Kafifi. And tonight's guest was Jerry Sargent on healing with star magic. Somehow he takes the stars and heals you. Some dude with muscles and tattoos. But I don't know what the hell happened to him. We sure don't know how to answer an email for some reason. So I have no idea. It was weird. Just gets weirder and weirder lately. Let's see who else. Rock Costado, Aliens, June 24th, Cliff Dunning. That's going to be a good one with Jay. Can't wait for this one. I'm being facetious. Marijuana and prostates. Oh my God. Quite literally. So that should be interesting. I'm still scheduling for July. Trying to think what else. Oh, Ancestry.com. Let me see. Ancestry.com. Let me log in. Is it really ran by Mormon people? And they probably clone me now with Mitt Romney. Isn't that one of these places? It may be this one. I don't know. But let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go. DNA summary. We're going to get into my blood. My blood. England and Northwestern Europe, 27%. Cheerio. God bless the King and Queen. Not. Ireland, 25%. You're talking to me, Putin. You're going to nuke Ireland. You're going to have a problem there. Wales, 24%. Scotland, 15%. Sweden, Denmark, 7%. Germanic Europe, 2%. So that's me. Somewhere I think they're supposed to be Cherokee. I've seen pictures of my great grandmother and she looked Cherokee. Like she was dark and looked like she had the clothes on, but for some reason they say it don't pick it up. That's what the guy on the phone told me. So I don't know. I hear it's reads as Asian or something. I don't see any Asian on here. I don't know. But England and Northwestern Europe, 27%. Ireland, 25%. Wales, 24%. Scotland, 15%. Sweden and Denmark, 7%. Germanic Europe, 2%. See other regions tested. Just shows what they tested. That's my blood. They got my DNA cloning me somewhere. I'm gonna write this publicist and be like, where's this bro at? Where's this dude? Where's dude at? I'm trying to think what other guests I'd like to get on. There's some mean lady that talks about fairies, but she was mean to me, Mary Joyce. I don't know what's up with that lady. I tried to get her on before. She wrote for a Florida paper and lives in North Carolina or something. And then Augie Noss recommended her, and I wrote her dropping a name, and she goes, "I'm not a fit for your show," and defriended me. I was like, I don't know what the hell. Maybe she saw the Mabus name. Of course, there's great controversy with that. Nobody knows what the hell it means but Nostradamus, but everybody likes to speculate what it means. John Hope said it meant Antichrist in a documentary back in the whenevers. So that's what they all ran with. I say it means maybe us. Nobody knows what it means. That was the point of me messing with it. Being mysterious. I like Church of Maybe Us. You put Osama and Bush together, or Obama and Bush, you got it. We've had a guest on, Eric Grimsmud, that if you break down Drumpf, DRUM, whatever it is, PH, he's got all these weird codes breaking it down to mean Mavis. I don't know how the hell he did it. It looks good on paper. Maybe there's something to it. Dr. Turry said it was pretty interesting. So I have no clue, but who knows who the Mavis is? Maybe Pootie, but I haven't seen any breakdowns of the Pootie lately of that name. But if you're, some guy said, well, what about Putin being the Antichrist and one of his supporters? And he was like, he's been a Christian all his life. Well, so he's still killing people. Isn't that one of the commandments, thou shalt not kill? Like one of the big ones you shouldn't do. Imagine what good he can do if he just helped people instead of splattering them with weapons. I don't get it. And NATO may have to nuke him or bomb him and kill him. And he may launch a few. So that's the angst in the air right now. Threatening Ireland and Finland and us. Yay, Pootie. I love ya. Yay, Trumpelgooch. I love ya. Please nuke me. I'll die for you. Will you die for me? Tool. And Tool's all right. Puppets. Both sides seem crazy to me. Even the middle seems crazy. What's up with the libertarians? The only thing cool that came out of that is like South Park. Those dudes like show up naked at their presidential rallies and stuff. So that's not the answer either, obviously. What is the answer? I have no idea. Because it's a mad, mad, mad world. And hopefully Wham shows up soon so I don't have to keep doing this by myself. No questions out there? It says there's one eye watching. And 3, that's just on Facebook. We've been doing pretty good on the archives. We usually do pretty good. There's some one show got like 200,000 hits or something. I forget which one. It's usually the ones you don't expect. And as far as other guests I have on, I don't know. There's some Alan Silverstein or something. He had some alien book that came out. I think, let me look. I may have said his name wrong. Silverstein UFO. I don't think I said his name right. But anyway, it's a UFO book that came out. His name's Alan S. something. If you put in UFO, you'll find it. We talked about it last week uh, with Wham. Was that Hertak? Nutter dude was in the book. But as far as exopolitics, are they just making this up? Are they just pulling this out of a hat? Obama time travels, uh, Putin hunting space arcs, Antarctica and the cabal and the global alliance of good aliens came down and did battle with Klaus Schwab and conformed them to the light side. There's crazy stories out of there. I don't believe any of them. There's a lot of UFO stories I don't believe. Some of the ones Jay talks about and stuff, like it's gospel. You know, the one where about Truman and they made an agreement. Maybe that is true, but I want to see evidence. Something. I don't believe a lot of this stuff that comes out. I believe what I've seen. I've seen weird beings of light leave my house. I've seen UFOs in the sky that looked like they were not from any government. Some of them were made out of energy. I've seen weird beings. There's been some times I was partying and had some run-ins with psychedelics, and I was reading Revelations and saw the sun fall from the sky like an angel to the earth. Still not sure what the hell that meant, what the heaven that meant. But a lot of people think a lot of those dudes that wrote all that stuff were tripping on mushrooms, which I don't know if that's true or not. Could be. There's a lot of weird symbolism of mushrooms in Christian stuff, pictures and symbolism, weird stuff. So maybe they are all tripping balls. I don't know. But a lot of my experiences I've had completely sober. One of my big ones was when I was listening to a Christian Word Watch DVD, and someone stole it later, by the way. I need to rebuy it 1 year. And something told me to go outside. I went outside, turned towards my house, and saw two beings of light leaving my house, completely sober. And I had someone draw it. I didn't have a cell phone then, I don't think. If I did, I didn't have it with me. It just happened so quick. Like they happened so fast. There's like two weird people made of light just flying away from the house, like they had been inside the house and flew out into the heavens. One time there was something whipping around the trees in the yard. My brother was there, and you could hear something. It was like it was invisible, like an invisible drone. I don't know what it was, alien pod, space pod. I don't know, but it was flipping around the trees and making a lot of noise, a lot of wind noise, and it was really weird. So there's a lot of stuff. There's so much I can't even remember most of it unless I really dig deep into it. I know one time I saw some weird holograms of reptilians partying at a lake on Halloween night in Georgia. And one looked like a hydra, one looked humanoid. They looked like Mayan gods. Like those pictures you've seen of glyphs and stuff of the Mayan gods, like the weird stuff. That's what they looked like, but it was like they were on a hologram kind of level. And they were saying positive stuff like love and right and dance and weird stuff. And then in my head, I was like, oh my God, is that fallen angels? And my brother saw glowing eyes in the woods. Nobody really saw them but me. I was alone when I saw them. And I kept seeing that face on Mars, which I don't even know if that's real or just like folklore. There's weird stuff about that. That weird configuration. It looks like a face or something. And the guy that was there with us, his name was Greg too, and he was messed up and partying and tried to drive us in the lake and was acting possessed. So I remember him. I was in a cemetery and hanging off an angel statue that was really big. It said something about porcelain god or something. It was weird, but those were the oldie days. As far as I'd like to have more experiences like that. They seem in short order. They happen sometimes, but the visual ones don't seem to like I'd like to. I know you'd see some gray aliens in the house we were at. Me and Christina, she saw one standing over the bed. I had let the white light of the sun fill me in meditation and walked in the house and saw one in the room with the transitioning grandmother. And they were like astral. That was the first time I've ever seen a gray, except in my head, like mind's eye. I've seen them there, but never seen one with my physical eyes. I've seen beings of light, but not a gray. I was beginning to think of these grays even exist until I saw that. It's just something people made up and got kind of caught on with Hollywood or something, but I definitely saw them there. I don't know what they are. Our guest we were going to have on says shadow parasites. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're good or bad or beyond that. I have no clue. But they're weird. Uh-oh. We have Wham here with us tonight. Here we go. Pine Bush representing.
All right. So, like, what the hell happened to the guest?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like the guest Jerry Sargent was supposed to be on, and it's weird because I kept sending him emails to check in with him, and he wouldn't answer.
Okay.
So then I wrote the publicist, and she says, yes, he's confirmed. Send the StreamYard link to his email. Well, I did twice. Nothing.
Nothing, huh?
Just weird.
Well,
I don't understand that.
I'm obviously just here. I just got here. So.
But the stuff he does is superhuman potential, healing with light frequencies, like Merkabah light stuff. He got arrested by violating the Cancer Act. Maybe he does healing. Seemed like a pretty neat guest.
What is the Cancer Act?
I don't know, but it says it in his bio.
He violated it? What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'm guessing maybe doing healing and stuff.
Oh.
Maybe got in trouble. He went to like Cancer Act.
Was it like Dr. Kevorkian and killing people and stuff?
National Cancer Act of 1937, providing training and instruction in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer, assisting and promoting similar research at other public and private institutions.
How do you violate that?
Maybe he's doing healing work. That's the only way I could think of.
Yeah, that's weird. Or maybe cancer isn't real or something.
Who knows? But it's just like this muscle dude with tattoos that looks like he fights for UFC or something.
Oh.
Once a drug addict and a criminal, working with the world's most wanted villains.
There you go. Hey.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just saw that.
Well,
so, I don't know.
I don't know. The cat has come in the room and is asking me for food. You need to ask the people downstairs for food. I'm not getting you food right now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I give up.
So what have you been talking about with our fair public here?
Making fun of exopolitics, Ukraine. I don't remember. Oh, I dug up my ancestry.com and I read all that stuff.
So and, it's just basically crap. You've just been throwing stuff out.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay. Okay.
You can't even sneak a sip of coffee hardly.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what I did this evening.
Oh, hold on. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, I was getting a YouTube link. Oh, go ahead, and I'll sneak coffee.
Okay, go. Okay, so the reason I'm late is because I was asked to attend or support my friend Gail Beatty, who has been on the show, who is the founder of Bigfoot Researchers of the Hudson Valley, because she was asked to do a presentation at the Pine Bush Museum, which is a new thing at Pine Bush, which has only been there for about a year. And it's a venue that has like this, it's got like these archives and this museum part. And then there's a place where where people can, do presentations. And this is the first presentation she's done since the pandemic started. So it's been almost 2 years since she's done any kind of presentation. And so she was kind of nervous. She has had some health issues since the pandemic. I don't think she got COVID, but she's had a surgery and has not been able to, because of the surgery and also because of just the pandemic, she hasn't been able to go out and do a lot of field research. So she was kind of nervous about doing this thing. So I told her this is in Pine Bush, so that if the listeners remember, Pine Bush is called the Roswell of the Northeast. So I was in Pine Bush, which is about 35 miles from my house. And I was supporting her, and I saw the first part of her presentation, and then I left to come here for the second half of the show. It takes me about 40 to 45 minutes to make the trek. Took a little bit longer this time because it's raining like an MF right now. Wasn't raining on the way there, but is raining on the way back, and it's back road, so it's really dark, windy roads. So I had to be pretty careful, not only because of the rain, but because there were many deers out and many frogs. I went through these areas where the roads were just covered with frogs, and it took everything I could do to not hit them. You know what I mean? I think I did hit one actually, but so that's what I was doing, and telling them about my book, which you know about my book, which, by the way, the Audible version, everything has been completed on it. It's been paid for. Everything's done. So now it's just a matter of Amazon has to do like a quality check. They have to do their own little retail BS that they do. But it should be available to purchase in audio form through Audible probably in about 5 days.
Ooh.
So yay.
Really cool.
And if you remember we had Michael Hacker on last he's the one who did the recording.
Cool.
He's the one I sent him a copy of my book last fall, and he liked it, and I think he's done a good recording.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Very easy to work with.
Better than Ed Kemper.
Yeah.
But a lot better, probably. But that's a creepy story. But.
Well, better than people that don't show up for their schedule.
Yeah, I'm going to ask. That's weird. I don't understand it. But let me see. Jay is going to if for some reason you're available on May 20th, let me know, because Jay is saying he has to do something. It's a shamanism guest.
Okay.
If you're not, it's okay. I have Jerry or I'll find something. If you are, let me know though.
Okay. Well, I'll check. That's May 20th. May 20th.
Yeah,
May 20th. I'll see.
Okay.
I'll see.
If you can't, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. But I don't get. Jerry usually will do it when I ask him or whatever. He's a pretty good dude that's been around for a while. Used to do production on Project Camelot, which I'm not big on them, but he's been around for a while. He used to be like their tech dude.
Oh yeah.
He's a friend that's been around for a long time. Sometimes he sits in, but if you can, it's cool though. Just let me know. And
okay, I'll check I'm putting together the rest of my May schedule in the next day, so I should be able to let you know soon.
And let me see. And then you have another shamanism guest on the June 3rd, Daniel Moeller.
Oh yeah.
Mark Nelson is they're Lillowin. They're both Lillowin authors.
Hey, do me a favor. Say Lou. Say Lou. Lou. Lou.
Luluwin.
No. Lou.
Lou.
Ellen.
Lou
Like
Ellen.
Ellen. Like Ellen. Like
Lou
Ellen
Ellen.
DeGeneres. Say Lou.
Lou.
Like Lou Reed.
Okay.
Ellen.
Lou Ellen.
Lou Ellen. That's how you say that word. Lou
Ooh.
Ellen.
I've always had trouble with it.
Yeah, don't look at how it's spelled, okay?
Yeah.
It's a Welsh word. Don't pay no attention to the spelling, just Lou.
It's Welsh.
Yeah.
I should know that. Let me read you my ancestry.com.
Okay.
It's not a lie. I'll tell you. I'm Welsh. Hold on, let me find my
You're not werewolf?
Probably. At least vampire, I think. So Nosferatu. Okay, it's hold on, let me see. One person invited.
You've always called yourself Chubby Nosferatu.
Chubby Nosferatu, that's right. Let me see your profile. Let me get DNA. Here we go. View all. This is the Mormon place, isn't Ancestry.com? Mormon weird stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've always heard something about Mormon with one of these DNA places.
Well, they've collected a lot of DNA. The
That scares me. I don't want to be crossbred with Mitt Romney. But the
I don't want to wear any of those little aprons.
Yeah, I'll read it real quick. It's not that long. England and Northwestern Europe, 27%. Ireland, 25%.
Wow.
Wales, 24%. Scotland, 15%. Sweden and Denmark, 7%. Germanic Europe, 2%.
So you're not a Viking. You're somebody who should be able to pronounce Llewellyn.
I know. Is that not is Sweden and Denmark? I mean, some of it. Ireland could be some Viking though, because didn't they raid the crap out of them or something?
Well, they did. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
It's keeping up with it.
So you're a lot of Celtic, is what you are.
Celtic. That's what Wales would be considered, right? Like I'm still trying to understand what Wales even is. Like
no, the Welsh they're a Celtic people.
Celtic, so I'm a lot Celtic.
Yep.
I can live with that. But as far as the weird thing is, I asked them on the phone about native, and they said it don't pick it up. And I know my mother's side has a great grandmother. I've seen pictures of her. She was Cherokee, and she looked it, and even looked like she had the clothes on.
Well, no, the reason why they say that it doesn't pick it up is because, first of all, there aren't enough samples of North American indigenous DNA that they can compare to. And that's partly because a lot of indigenous people in North America in particular don't want their DNA sampled. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can't tell the difference. The DNA among the various indigenous peoples in North America, for the most part, there are a few isolated exceptions, but for the most part, there's not that much difference between the DNA of, say, a Cherokee person and a Shawnee person. So you wouldn't be able to tell like what nation you were part of. I mean, even if a lot of times it shows up, if it shows up at all, it shows up as miscellaneous, which to me is disgusting. It's like miscellaneous. Yeah. What the hell is that?
Somewhere I heard that Asian could tie in a native. Is there any truth to that? I don't know where I heard that at. Something.
Well, there might be some indigenous people up in Alaska that it might be similar. But the indigenous people of North America and Central America are pretty distinct.
Yeah.
So, if we had enough genetic samples of them, we would be able to pick it up, but we don't. So that's the main reason.
I think there are some. You just got there maybe 23andMe. I think one of them can, because I've heard people say they said it was in there, so I don't know which company they use. I'd have to dig.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind is that each company profiles a little bit differently. And there's a difference between the DNA that they're picking up that's expressed and the actual what's called nuclear DNA that they would be able to detect, or mitochondrial DNA that they would be able to detect if they did a more precise analysis. Um, you know, um, they can't pick up Neanderthal very well either. You have to do a very specific sort of level of analysis to find that kind of stuff out. So those tests are interesting, but they're missing a lot. So
I'm telling on Jerry to his publicist. Jerry didn't show up. He seemed to be acting kind of weird, communicating, never answered emails, sent like 3. Snitch tonight.
yeah, well, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of upset about it, which I'll live, but it's just kind of lame.
Well,
But
it is lame to not show up when you're
or not send an email that you're not going to be there, or maybe a coke deal. I don't know. Something ain't right.
something
Something's
ain't
rotten
right.
in Denmark for sure. So Lou Ellen.
Lou
Another
Ellen.
another word me and Christina were talking about, and I've always had trouble with this one, and you could probably shed some light on it. The Dow, the Teo. I used to say the Teo.
Yeah, well, you were right.
It's the Dow, isn't it?
It's the Tao, and the reason for the different pronunciations of Tao and why that was called Tao, and it's actually Tao, is because
Dow.
it reflects uh, an older style of Romanizing,
Uh-huh.
applying English letters to
Yeah,
Chinese, and
I don't understand it, but
I can't remember I can't remember whether it's pinyin or which one it is, but for in the early 20th century, the late 19th and early 20th century, there was one style of romanization that was used, and that's where you got some of those spellings. And then from the 70s on, they started using a different style of romanization, which is closer to how we actually pronounce things. So it's the difference between Peking and Beijing. When I was growing up, Beijing was referred to as Peking because that was an older way of romanizing one dialect of Chinese. But Beijing reflects more closely the it's a different romanization that reflects more closely the dominant pronunciation of the dominant dialect, which is Mandarin in China.
yeah,
So it has to do with different dialects of China and how we spell those words in English. So
yeah.
that's where that
It's
comes from.
complicated. I'm like, I'm not gonna say it ever again.
Right. Well, but then what makes it even worse is that there is a pueblo in the Southwest that is pronounced Taos, and
House.
Taos, and it has always been spelled Taos. I mean, in English, you know, I mean,
House.
obviously, the natives, Pueblo people who lived there didn't spell it at all because they didn't have English, but it's Taos, and it's a pueblo, and now it's a city. There was a pueblo there, and there still is a pueblo there, but there's also a city of Taos now.
So what's
I mean, a
it?
regular white city. A pueblo is a city. I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
So any Bigfoot anything going on? That's what the whole thing was tonight, right?
Well, it was kind of the history of what she's been doing. There was some newer stuff that I hadn't heard, like they have an exhibit now of all of her stuff, including a series of audio recordings that different people have given her from different parts of the valley where they have picked up really weird sounds like screams and mutterings and certain weird growls and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of those I hadn't heard. So I was listening to those, and they got a really pretty classic scream out of this one site in Hyde Park, which is kind of interesting because Hyde Park is a It's in Dutchess County, and while there are some rural areas in Hyde Park, it's pretty urban. I mean it's like a suburb, kind of. But it's not like it's an isolated place. So to get that kind of a scream, yeah, it was pretty classic. It was almost Ron Moorhead like. Seriously. And then there were a bunch of other recordings, and she has like a list of, or they wanted her to compile a list of all of the sites that she's investigated since the beginning of her investigations, which were like in 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah.
So she has those up with like a brief description of what the sighting was and what the evidence was that was collected. And that's like running on a loop, in the museum, as well as some photos and some footprint stuff, and it's kind of interesting.
What museum is it?
It's a newer museum. It's in Pine Bush, and it's called the Pine Bush UFO Museum. Okay. Let me see. Let me get the website. It's got a website.
Pine Bush UFO Museum.
Hold on, just a second. Let me see what it's.
Once I went through Gulf Breeze in there, I saw a UFO museum there. This is a long time ago, but it didn't look open. I don't know if it's closed or closed down, but it's kind of weird. And Gulf Breeze down here.
Here it is.
UFO museum on the side of the road in Florida. Yeah. That's not something you see.
Yeah, it's pinebushmuseum.com.
Okay.
Pinebushmuseum.com, and they have UFO and Paranormal Museum. They've got a fairly nice website. And it's Discover the Paranormal History of Pine Bush, New York, and the Hudson Valley area. And so this is part, and they have guided museum tours. And of course, they do Halloween Fright Night, but then they do gallery lectures. And
UFO Paranormal Museum is the actual name of this thing. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's well, you won't like this. It's associated with KGRA, Digital Broadcasting. Oh. Yeah, I do you'd not like that.
I'll not say anything. Okay. It happens. And move on.
All I will tell you is that even Linda Moulton Howe broke her association with them. So
wow,
that's all I will say.
Wow, I didn't know that.
She started doing her own broadcast for one thing, but she was doing pretty regular stuff on there, and she just quit. And she's interesting because I think what happens with her is that she hardly ever says anything publicly, like real openly publicly. But what you'll notice is that she'll all of a sudden just stop doing something and start doing something else, or stop talking about somebody and start talking about somebody else. And that's kind of how she handles those kinds of controversies. So I think that she probably sort of heard about some of the crap that was going on behind the scenes and just used that as an opportunity to move into doing her own broadcasts,
Yeah.
without saying anything,
Yeah.
What I mean?
I've had people there send me videos threatening to destroy me and show me hacking apparatus, and you could tell it was Jamie Havocan, and it was we don't have to get into it all, but I'm just saying it's creepy there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure who it is, but somebody somewhere, I mean, it's I'll put it this way. It's good. I suppose it's good that it's there. I mean, like the 4th of June, they're having their UFO festival.
Yeah.
There, and so obviously this museum is going to be like it was last year, kind of a centerpiece of it all, because it's right on the main drag, and that's where the festival always is. But there were some hard feelings about this, because basically there had been attempts to set up a different type of museum in a different building. And essentially, somebody somewhere just got a bunch of money and just kind of swept in and took it all over.
Robert Bigelow.
I don't think
That's
doesn't
the
even
kind of stuff he does, though.
that much money actually in a place like
Yeah.
Pine Bush. But the point is that well, and I happen to be friends with, and he's featured in my book, but I happen to be friends with one of the original witnesses of the Pine Bush phenomena, sort of during the heyday of it in the late 80s and early 90s. Like, this is somebody who hung out with Ellen Crystal and was part of that whole crowd, and he probably knows everybody that was, every important person that was associated with Pine Bush at the time. And he's one of the archivists. He's probably got the biggest collection of movie footage and photos and just accounts of stuff that happened during that time as anybody else.
Yeah.
But they he was just really pissed off when he found out, like, how this group that just came in and connected to that broadcasting company that came in and just sort of took it over. He apparently had he confessed to me that he had a bit of a fit, so like right at them. So
Yeah, there's definitely weird stuff with him. One of the biggest stories with that Bill Ford one that was so weird, that the guy that works over there that is on the New York registry for harming a child. Weird stuff, but we'll talk to Joe about it. But it seems like a cool place, except for that.
Well,
it happens.
I seriously doubt that anybody who was there tonight, I mean, like in the audience, the room was full. I said every chair was full. I mean, I seriously doubt that anybody in the audience even knows about any of that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
So.
And the things are just so weird with so many of these organizations. MUFON, like, the last thing I heard about them was that dude getting caught trying to solicit underage girls, like the main dude.
Yeah, the main dude.
And
yeah.
I haven't heard anything else about that. Like, that's just, I guess they just kind of swept it, hoped it went away, and kept on trucking. That's all they can do, I guess, right?
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. Yeah.
It's a strange thing, but one of the strangest stories that, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, possibly. I used to be friends with Chase Kowetsky
Okay.
a lot. And she would tell me about meeting with Robert Bigelow from MUFON at UFO crash sites. And I was like, what? So there's really UFO crash sites? And apparently there was, or she was lying to me, which, there's other stuff I think she lied about, but he did buy it and there was controversy. And she said she had to report to him, and then said something about one time she went to the computer, the God computer, and there was nothing in it that was important, really, and was just telling me all this stuff. And she was on the STAR team, and she quit, and then she got hooked up with KGRA, and apparently got mad at me over all that stuff. I don't even remember what she got mad about, but got mad about something. She wanted me to make Mabus, Mabus, be the new MUFON, and gave like $100 to it or something a long time ago. It just never came to fruition. And wanted me to be the new head of Mabus, like MUFON. Like, that's what her whole goal was, which would have been weird.
That's really kind of weird, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I know. It is.
And
I was like, I don't want to do it because the government spooks will infiltrate it, and then I'll have to sell out at gunpoint. Probably is how it goes anyway. I've heard stories of Robert Bigelow coming in for, there's some guy, Maurice something. I don't remember his name, but he came to him and tried to buy a site from him about UFOs. And I was like, don't do it, dude. Don't sell out. But I think he did it because then he blocked me and went away. And not Jamie Havoc, I forget his name, but I'd see it if Ray Hernandez or something like that. But I've just heard stories for sure. I've heard stories about Thomas Reed, who's in MUFON and all that stuff. I don't know if he still is, a compass went missing from an alien case, and supposedly that MUFON was selling this stuff to Bigelow at first, like
All
without
right.
asking the people it belonged to if they could. So there's been weird stuff like that. Uh, the biggest thing is I don't get how they recuperate from the racist weird stuff that happened there with one guy. I forget his name, John something. He was saying crazy stuff about black people and stuff on his Facebook that was insane, and it got out everywhere. Then the other dude, underage craziness. How do you survive? And then Dan Aykroyd, I guess he's still a member, which is kind of upsetting. It's just weird, but I think that place has been infiltrating a long time ago. I mean, Bigelow, that really happened, with Bigelow, with MUFON.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the details, but I remember when it was a big to do. Everybody was talking about it. And it was just craziness. And then, of course, the Skinwalker Ranch thing with Bigelow, and then now he sold it to Brandon Fugel, and he buys stuff. And I know he tried to buy that site from that guy. He goes around, and I don't know if he still does it, but we've talked about this with Wild Trees. That dude, Wild Trees, a microbiologist, animal microbiologist that Stephanie knows and stuff. But
Yeah.
he said that there was something about Bigelow lost his kid, and that's why he went kind of cuckoo and got into paranormal. Like his kid passed away. But I also heard another story recently that his wife died, and they tried to tie it in the Skinwalker Ranch or something weird like that. I don't know where I heard that one.
That's pretty strange. That's
Yeah,
pretty
there's some weird ones, but he definitely sold Skinwalker Ranch real fast, and that's a weird place. No matter the way you shake it, I mean, that show I've only seen the first season, Secret History. I forget what it's called. It's on History Channel, Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, there's
hmm
people there getting head wounds, radiation burns, and all kinds of crazy stuff. At the end of that first season, they were talking about working with the government again at a conference table and telling us that they're going to work with some of them and let them know stuff. It was weird, like a spook fest, as Andy would say. it was.
best. Yeah.
I haven't seen the second season, but first season is like there's definitely stuff going on there. I don't know what exactly, but radiation burns. What would cause that? I mean, nukes, something. The atom bombs buried there, testing grounds nearby. Just a lot of weird stuff. Here's that Gregory Little book with all the native mounds in it. Me and Christina were looking at it. All the you have that one? It's like
Which one?
the illustrated
Oh, yes, I
encyclopedia.
do. In fact, I've recommended that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. I've been to the ones in Georgia, Stone Rock, or I forget what it's called, but I went to it once for sure. For 4-H or whatever that was back in junior high. We went to it. I'd like to get that dude on, but I don't know if it's going to happen. They said he wasn't available after sending his book, but we've had Collins on before. I know Paul Wallace wrote to ask to be on again. Then I wrote him back. He never replied back. I need to try him again, but that show did really good. That one's on YouTube and went really good. Did I ever show you that one on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Uh, he he got big hits, but it's funny because there's some people on it that got upset because I said something about Trump. I don't see it anymore. I mean, I took it down, but it was on here. I have the archive of it, but somebody put it up. If it's there, I don't see it anymore, but it was there. Things get taken down on YouTube sometimes, so for various assortment of reasons. I don't even know if it was his channel. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it, but that's kind of weird that I don't see it anymore. Who knows? Could have got taken down for any of a number of reasons. I don't even remember if it was on his channel. But yeah, he answered under it, so it was. That's strange. Who cares? Might be there under a weirder title that I don't remember or something. But it did really well. I have the archive somewhere, but He's in Australia, so those are always hard to do anyway because of time zone crap. And I named the show "It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World." That's the title. It's a mad, mad, mad world. One of the big questions I want to ask Dacre Stoker is in Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book. Dracula has hairy palms. So I want to know what's up with that. I think I know the answer, but am I right? I'm not going to say it. But that's a folklore that has to do with self pleasure.
Oh, yeah, yeah, about masturbating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was about. Why else would he have hairy palms? But it's in there because I was like, I looked it up on Google to make sure I wasn't just like mixing it up with something. And it's in there. So it's just weird. So this undude dead's, you know, doing his business, but he's dead, so his anatomy still works apparently. I'm just trying to understand it. Maybe he can let us tell us. He's a living blood descendant from. He may not like the question. I don't know. But we'll see if I have the courage. I asked Dave Morris when we had him on about Bram Stoker. But Jay says a friend from Georgia's coming up. He's going camping on the 20th. Well, that must be nice. But I tried to see if he was off tonight. He's at Home Depot slaving it. And Joe's doing some political show after this one. And he's asking if Jay wanted to do it. As far as other guests, trying to think who else to get on. It's amazing how we kept up with so many people over the years with, just getting guests. Lately, I've just tried to get people that aren't really star effort guests. I don't mind having those sometimes, but sometimes I like to have guests that you wouldn't find anywhere else, which that's even hard to do with all the radio shows. So a lot of times I just work with publicists.
Right.
For Inner Traditions and all the other ones, and that's basically. There's one dude I'd love to get on. What is his name? It's a black dude. And Billy Carson, UFOs. Let's see. No, did I say his name? Okay, here he is. Yeah, his name's Billy Carson. He has a UFOs in the Bible book, and I swear for some dumb reason it's $200 now. Should have bought it when I had the chance, but he's been around forever. I guess I was just surprised there's an African American dude about UFOs and stuff. It's not that common, is it? Not really.
No, well, that's part of what my dissertation was about.
Yeah.
It's not that common. Yeah, I mean there are some. Like I'm doing a interview. Oh God, what is it? What day is it? It's in a couple weeks. With one of the podcasts that Stephanie Quick likes a lot. She's gotten me on this guy's podcast. I can't recall now which one it is. But we're specifically going to talk about that, and especially talk about the experience of a guy named Harrison Bailey, who had this really weird UFO experience like a full 10 years before the Betty and Barney Hill case. And in his case was really weird because not only because he's an African American guy, and that just, those stories aren't very common, but his story is also really different in a lot of ways. But what's really weird about his story, okay, it's Our Strange Skies. That's the podcast. What's really strange about it is that it was like the day after, or maybe a couple days after his experience. This had happened he had been going home from work, and this happened on his way home from work. And he was going through the same part of the woods where this event had occurred. and instead ran into like 3 white guys. This is in the 50s, keep in mind. And he ran into 3 white guys, and they started to pursue him. And one of them said, "Hey, aren't you the guy that we saw coming out of the UFO?" It's like, what the hell does that even mean? Because it's like, because if they saw something, then that would be like independent verification of like what he saw. But why, you know what I mean? Or what he experienced. It was just really weird, but it scared him so bad that he didn't tell anyone about his experience for like 20 years until the 70s. In fact, he didn't really talk about his experience. I can't remember right now whether until it was after I think it was after the Betty Andreasson case went public that he finally talked about his experiences. But you know, but the person who first recorded his account is somebody that a lot of people, you know, if you're deeply into this topic, you will remember who he was. His name is D. Scott Rogo, and he was kind of a controversial paranormal investigator in the 70s and 80s, and he was murdered. And his murder, it's still an unsolved case. It's still an open case.
I'm looking up that guy, Harrison Bailey.
Hey, Harrison Bailey, yeah.
There was a was he and there was a Chicago Tribune article about him, but they're trying to make you pay it to read it. But I found something on Mysterious Universe.
Yeah.
Frog things? What is that? You remember anything about that? Was it a frog?
Yeah. One of the weird things about his experience was that he saw these little tiny like frog beings or frog people or something. It was weird.
I remember the Loveland frog. I know that's some story. That's not the same one. I know that's a cryptid. Loveland frog or something. I think it's a separate one.
Yeah.
I put the article in the group just so I can find it later.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting account.
So he was African American dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This Billy Carson's been around the block. This dude. His website is forbiddenknowledge.com. The number 4biddenknowledge.com. Some of the things he's done: World's Biggest Mysteries, UFOs, The Lost Evidence, George Norrie, Beyond Belief, Anunnaki series, like all kinds of weird stuff. So I'll have to try to get. He writes for Rolling Stone. Wow.
Yeah.
Who is this dude? I'll have to get him on. But hopefully don't run away. Mabus, what's that?
Mabus.
Mabus.
Satanic Mabus.
I say it's maybe us, Church of Maybe Us. That's my own good, positive. I'm turning it around. I'm taking the negative shadow side from it. I'm turning it to the light now. Church of Maybe Us. Get your Kool-Aid and your fried chicken in a balloon and come see the murder ride. Captain Spaulding's murder ride. But anyway, Billy Carson, he has a UFO Bible book. I'd love it, but I think I'm paying $200 for it. No ways. I hate when that happens. When books show up that you want and they're like $200 now.
Yeah.
They don't print them. There's a weird Kim Carlson book I'm in that it's like
that you're in. What does that mean?
I'm inside of it. No, my story's in it.
Oh, okay.
It's a Kim Carlson book. That's see if I can find it. But now I think it's expensive. I have it, luckily. It was just one I shared a weird story in, and she put it in it, like an alien story. It's a book full of. I haven't talked to her in ages. I don't even know if she's still alive. I guess she is. Aliens. Kim. Let me see. Let me find my stupid page on here. Jeffrey Pritchett. I don't even come up on Amazon when you put Jeffrey Pritchett. Like I know my bio's here. Oh, there it is. Finally. I don't know what I did, but Praise for the Hairy Man has 15 ratings. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Trying to just go to the page.
That's the one that's got the cover by Bobby Boussolet, right?
Yeah, there is. Hopefully my page is still on here. They don't get rid of you if you don't do nothing for a while, do they? That is weird. Like it's not here anymore. Wait, maybe it's because I'm in audiobooks. Hold on. It's weird. Praise for the hairy man. What the heck? Like the book's not. Wait, there's the. Okay, there's the paperback. Okay, the paperback's here. Visit my page. There's my page. God, that's like, did I take it down? Let me see. Nothing would surprise me.
The Secret Life of Bigfoot, right here.
That's right. And the I wish Probes Happen did better. I don't think it did that great. Such a good name. Think it'd do better. Probes Happen. Let's see. I'm trying to find the Kim Carlson book. All formats. I'm in a book by Timothy Beckley somewhere. They've done something to my page. It's like shrunk or something. Like some books are missing. Yeah, like there's books that aren't. Okay, here's her book. I don't know what they're doing. They're craziness. Yeah, this book's like $90 now. It's called The Art of Close Encounters by Kim Carlson and Story Submitters. And it has good reviews, but I just put a story in it about one of my UFO ones. I think it was my Bermuda Street stuff where I saw some weird beings under a light post late at night that looked like something out of a fantasy. It's like a lady with blonde hair, a floating bald guy, and a dude with a dragon head. Might have been a helmet. It was really weird. Like, my brother said he saw it too. I don't know if he just said that to pacify me or if he really saw it. But I saw it. I don't know what it was. But there's some other UFO
dude
stuff.
With a dragon head?
That's what it looked like. Maybe it was a helmet or something. I don't know. But they were standing under a light post late at night. Just standing there, and I saw it. It was weird. It's like spirits or something. It wasn't Halloween. But I don't know.
Were you on acid?
No, but I might have been on something. I try to differentiate my stories that I was sober and the ones that I was not, even though to me it doesn't make a difference. But because I think certain things open doorways, but like the beings of light that left my house completely sober, not even nicotine or anything. But there were some other ones on psychedelics, some weird stuff. But I don't remember anything in particular. But hard stuff I haven't done in so long, like 25 years, 28 years or so. So, see, I had spoke about this a little bit before on the show. Why I would never do needles. That's stuff I was rambling about while you were gone. There was, as far as, because I went through chemo, I hate needles. And I used to hang out with guys that used drugs and needles. One of them in particular was this crazy old man that made speed. And he would get a syringe and he put it in his skull in front of all of us and shot it in his brain. I swear to Jesus. A needle, it wasn't a trick. He was really doing it. He claimed he was dying and had some sickness, a disease or something, and he was using it for pain, and he shot it right in his brain. And I saw it. But anyway, basically, my dad told me if I ever did drugs when I was a kid, he'd shoot me. And one time he tried to kill my brother because he thought he was on drugs. I didn't think he was on drugs. And but anyway, when my dad died, I did drugs. I used to be against them. Like I was like a little goody two shoes, and no, don't do drugs. Join Dare. But I was terrible. But anyway, I was in police explorers once because my friends were, and I was like, stupid. I didn't do it anymore. I almost joined the military once because friends did, but they found something wrong with me, and that's when I found out about testicular cancer as volunteers. God, thank God that didn't happen. I don't know what the hell stupid I was thinking, but dumb. But anyway, when my dad died, I did drugs, and I sold them for several years, and I got mixed up with people that you shouldn't have got mixed up with. And luckily, I never hurt anybody except through selling drugs, which is enough. But those guys probably hurt people every weekend or whatever. If you owe them money or something, they call me vampire.
Is that where you got that?
No, I got that a long time ago. There's a black guy I used to work with at Long John Silver's named Poppy, and he was this cool, funny dude, big glasses, and his name was Poppy. And he used to call me Alucard, Dracula backwards, because I was pale. And he thought I was a vampire. I make jokes at him about, drinking his blood or something, just being stupid. And he was actually came to my house when I was going through chemo to see me. And my dad wouldn't let him in because he was black. My dad's dead now. But he goes, your dad's scary. Yeah, no, try living with him. But he was scary. But he's passed now. And yeah, he was racist. So, and that guy came to see me, and I've tried to find him, but I can't remember his real name. I can't, like Maurice or something like that. But he had a nickname. I would love to find him. And he'd go Alucard. And he called me Casper too. I used to get called Powder in school. I don't know if you ever seen that weird movie with Jeff Goldblum and the little ball boy. It's a good movie, but unfortunately, it's by a pedo. So that guy got caught pedoing. Same guy did Jeepers Creepers, that weird horror movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, we watched Powder recently. It's a good movie, but it's just weird when you know the dude is a pedo and you're watching it.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens with me when I watch a movie with Kevin Spacey in it. Because he's such a good actor, and then it's like, yeah, but then he's such an asshole.
Creepo. I like Kevin Spacey as acting, but I always said never want to be alone in the room with him.
No, he's creepy.
Yeah,
creepy.
And I've kept up with some of this Johnny Depp stuff, and it's crazy as hell. Like, oh, he lost part of his finger. Everybody's calling her Amber Turd because she put a turd in his bed. There was some crazy thing that I read. I don't want to go into detail.
I kind of have come to the conclusion they probably deserved each other in some weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seemed insane. But another weird story, I have to be careful how I say this, is she claims he assaulted her with a bottle. So weird. I mean, I haven't been keeping up with it that much, just headlines. I haven't watched any of this stuff, maybe a minute of it or something. I don't even think I did that. I don't remember. But it's crazy. But both of them have been canceled, haven't they? I don't know. It's just sad. I like Johnny Depp movies, so we never get to see a Johnny Depp movie because he hooked up with this situation. I don't even understand why he was canceled. Because I don't know. I mean, I don't even understand this cancel stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Frank Langella was just canceled. You know who that is? Frank Langella, the actor. Been in some Star Wars, a Dracula.
Why? Why?
He apparently was filming this House of Usher, Edgar Allan Poe by the guy that did Midnight Mass. It's a good vampire show that's really good and crazy. On the guy also did House of Haunting Hill, this show, but it's a Lovecraft show. I mean, not a Lovecraft, but Edgar Allan Poe show. And Langella was a character in it. Apparently, he was doing a love scene, and he got a little carried away, like a sex scene. And now he's fired, and they've deleted him, taken him out like they did with Kevin Spacey. Ridley Scott got rid of him out of the movie and replaced him with another actor. It cost millions to redo the shoots and everything. They did the same thing with this Frank Langella. So he's canceled. I don't know. It's just weird. And what else? The Marilyn Manson thing, I understand him getting canceled. Like, there's just so many assaulters coming out about him that are just insane. crazy stories. And
Yeah, apparently, I mean, what I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently, Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, apparently they knew each other at one point, and apparently Manson got too whacked out for him, and he just disowned him. He was just like,
yeah,
because of how violent he was being towards women specifically.
yeah. I remember hearing something like that with Trent Reznor disowning him, and I mean, not being friends with him anymore. Uh, I know I read that biography by Manson, The Long Road Out of Hell, and Reznor was in it, and they were doing weird stuff, spitting on women and stuff together, and crazy stuff that Manson said. But uh, he does seem like there was another story by this lady that claimed Manson assaulted her and then contacted Deftones, another band, and made them drop her from a video. Like she's taking him to court. Just too much stuff. So
Right.
he's obviously a creep. It's hard to listen to his music. I used to like his music, and part of me still likes the music, but not like I did. It's hard to listen to.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
weird.
it's hard to figure that out. Like how much do you separate an artist from what they do? It's
Yeah, I know he's friends with Nick Cage and stuff. I know it's not saying much, but Nick Cage.
well, another one of those people who can't act their way out of a bucket. But anyway,
Yeah, he's definitely a mess for sure. Some other weird movie with Nick Cage about his life that's doing pretty good, but I haven't seen it. I forget the name of it. I know he's still supposed to play Tiger King, so
nah,
that Tiger King stuff, man. God, I haven't seen the second season. I don't know if I can stomach it, but I know that dude's in jail now with cancer. So we've been keeping up. The big story that's happening in Alabama is this sheriff lady ran off with this
oh
convict.
yeah, I heard about that. So like they haven't found this dude yet.
Nope, you're even hearing about it in New York City.
It's national news.
This Southern story.
Yeah, yeah. Just a correctional officer or something helped
Yeah,
him escape, something
yeah.
like that.
Reminds me of a show Ben Stiller did, and this is a good show that was on Showtime called Escape from Dannemora. And it's a true story where Patricia Arquette plays this weird lady, not in a good way, and she works in the prison and
Weird, not in a good way, right?
bangs Paul Dano and Benicio del Toro, and they con her into helping them escape. And it gets crazy as hell. And Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano, the guy that played Riddler in the new Batman, he's a good actor, but it's really good. But it's like that, like creepy. Like she leaves her husband, and all this havoc breaks loose, and they end up killing one of them. It's called Escape from Dannemora. It was like this little prison show that Ben Stiller did. That was kind of weird. It was actually decent. Ben Stiller makes shows now.
Yeah,
He
I
just
heard
did
that.
this weird show, Severance,
Hmm.
and it's about people getting clipped in their minds somehow. So when they go to work, they don't think at home anything about home life, but when they go home, they don't think about work life. It's weird. Like they get spliced.
Mm.
It's really weird. Patricia Arquette's in it. There's a bunch of different. Oh, John Turturro, Christopher Walken. Like it's worth watching. It's really weird. There's some John Turturro, Christopher Walken love affair that's kind of like what? Like it's kind of hard to watch for a minute. That's it. You even made a face
I
with that.
don't know if I even want that visual.
I know. There's some gay hey with those two. I like them both, but I was like, what? Wait a minute. I don't know if I can do
Yeah,
this.
there's some people that they're getting naked just doesn't quite compute to
It's
me.
like, no. But all right. Well, we're at the tail end. We survived. Thanks, Wham.
Sure.
It is weird doing a show without a co-host. Like, luckily I did it okay, but it's just weird. Can't sneak and do things. Can't drink coffee. But anyway, everybody have a good weekend. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the JoJo.
All
He's coming
righty.
up next. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.